Let's look at some of the popular game birds of Georgia that are smaller than, say, a wild turkey. A lot of people ask, what are some of the differences between wing ID and just ID in general of these game birds? So let's take a look at four different species that we'll see in Georgia. Up first is the ruffed grouse. Okay, the ruffed grouse has a bag limit in Georgia of 3 per day. This is a bird that's typically found more so in North Georgia as opposed to South Georgia in, like, say, the Cohutta Wilderness. You will definitely be able to maybe kill one or two of these walking through that wilderness during the day. As you can see, it has a tail fan similar to a turkey. A lot of people, like, say, out west may call these prairie chickens, where there's different subspecies of grouse. But they'll definitely have this tail fan. The males use it to attract the females with a particular drumming sound as well. They'll have a short crest on their head. And when you look at the wing, there'll be different lighter pigments on the wing that kind of distinguish it apart from, say, a woodcock or a quail. And also the size alone of this wing, as you can see the difference here, is very significant. The ruffed grouse will be double the size of a bobwhite quail or, say, a woodcock. So the size alone, you can kind of compare it to a chicken as far as the size goes. And again, you'll see those predominantly in North Georgia. Up next is the bobwhite quail. Okay, the quail, another very good eating bird, just like the ruffed grouse, has a bag limit of 12 per day, but this bird is more dominant probably in South Georgia, where there's a little bit more row crop food for it and variety of habitat. They're going to have a light color under their chin and a stripe through their eye. Both the male and the female will have this stripe, but the males will be white. They'll have more coloration, as do most male birds, in order to attract their mates. They'll have brown bodies, and when you're looking at the wing, the first three primaries are actually going to be wide or look fairly the same as the other wings, other primaries after the first three. Okay, this will be important when we look at the woodcock wing, and you'll see the difference in that. Okay, so let's go on and look at the woodcock. Woodcock are typically found in more swampy areas. When you look at the wing itself, in order to tell the difference between it and the quail, which is a question that's asked a lot, you'll see those first three primaries being very thin in comparison to the others. So you can see how thin those are as opposed to the quail, which has a more wider type primary on that first primary and after that. Okay, and the coloration, you can see that coloration on the front side. These woodcock are going to have a long bill, which are used to catch their favorite foods, such as earthworms. Again, more swampy bogs, marsh areas, and that bill is called a prehensile bill, which gives it a distinct feature. Prehensile meaning a special bone-like structure that allows the bill itself to open when they insert it into the ground. So the bill can open while inserted into the ground in order to catch earthworms, which is one of their more favorite foods. Okay, they'll also have this little tail like this with a coloration that's kind of significant. And again, you'll see this bird in marshy areas has a bag limit of 3 per day in the state of Georgia. The fourth game bird that we want to look at that's kind of a smaller bird is the mourning dove. As you can see, this bird, most everybody knows what a dove looks like, but the wing itself is gray, and you'll see these black spots right here. Okay, so it's a gray tan body, grayer wing with black spots on the wing, streamlined body. You can distinguish a dove maybe when it flies into a tree, even if you don't see it, by a whistling sound, and of course the cooing noise that it makes that most everybody is familiar with. So there we see 4 different smaller game birds of Georgia, all with distinct characteristics on the wings and the tail feathers.